Alrighty, ladies and gents, it is that time of the year. The NBA play-ins are about to kick off tomorrow. First of all, Adam Silver, I apologise. I did not realise, or I don't know why the game was on tomorrow. I think it was something on my phone that just showed me the wrong dates or something. No games on today, which is good. I can get my predictions out to you guys today, which is what we'll be doing. I'll be talking through why I think they're going to win and who I think's going to win. First of all, tomorrow we've got the 2-7-8 seeds. So we've got the Orlando Magic hosting the Atlanta Hawks, and we've got my Warriors hosting the Grizzlies. Two really big games. For the West side, I think more to the point, it's an opportunity to play against a less experienced Rocket side compared to the number one seeded OKC Thunder, who far and away have been the best team all year. So teams will be actively trying to avoid them as much as humanly possible. Even as confident as I am in the Warriors, I don't want to see us in a 7-game series against that team in the first round. They're trying to avoid them. Both teams are going to go at it tomorrow. I sort of touched on my video yesterday. I do have us Warriors winning tomorrow. I just think that we're playing much better basketball at the moment compared to the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies, through the last 3 weeks or so, started to play really good basketball. Steph dropped 52 on them in our last meeting. So that's another thing to look at. How do they stop Steph Curry? Especially with the injury to Jonathan Wells, who in the game with Steph, when he hit 12 threes, was the primary defender on him. And if he was the primary defender and the only way that they thought they had a chance at stopping Steph Curry, who is going to guard him now? It'll depend on what sort of form we get out of Jimmy Butler. Who knows what will happen with him, but it's that time of the year. Everybody at this point in the year expects Jimmy Butler to step up, get better, and just boost his numbers like he always does. So I'm hoping sort of that production comes out of him. Draymond Green has been solid for us in every single playoff run we've ever had, other than you could argue the suspension in the 2016 finals. But that's another story and something I will never speak of ever again. Who knows? I just think the Grizzlies on their day could beat us. I don't have a doubt in my mind, but I just think we have the edge in terms of skill level. We have the edge in terms of experience. They have beaten us once before, but that was in a game where Steph Curry was all alone. I don't think Draymond played in that game. And it was 2021. It was the year before we won a championship. And we had Kai Bowman playing minutes. A lot has changed for us Warriors since 2021. We've got a completely new roster, better players. And I just think we have the edge. Gary Payton's going to play a lot of minutes. I expect him to be on Ja Morant for majority of the game. He's going to come off the bench. I'd say he'd play close to 30 minutes. Jonathan Kuminga, I don't know what's going to go on with him because yesterday he got a DNP coach's decision. I don't know what Steve Kerr has in store for us in terms of Jonathan Kuminga's production, but I see him making an impact on this game, especially in a game where outside of Jaren Jackson and Zach Edey, who both tend to get in foul trouble a lot, he will attack the basket and he will draw those fouls. He'll get to the free throw line and he'll impact winning in that sort of sense of getting to the ring. Because when he's off the floor, we shoot a lot of three-point jump shots and we do not get to the ring very much outside of Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler is amazing at drawing fouls and is the reason that he's turned our free throw season around in terms of drawing, shooting, percentage-wise, literally everything. As soon as Jimmy came over, we were a completely different free throw shooting team. So I expect Jimmy to continue to do that. Jonathan as well. I expect him to play at least a little bit. I don't think he gets 2 DMPs 2 days in a row. I think he is a much better player. He deserves to get some time on the floor. I expect Kevon Looney to get a lot of time on the floor. He's our experienced guy. Through the regular season at the moment, he's not getting a ton of playing time, but that could be due to a bunch of reasons. But I expect him now, being our experienced player, seeing what he has done in past playoff runs for us, like dominating Domantas Sabonis and grabbing 15 rebounds a game, stuff like that, I expect him to have a massive impact. Grizzlies side of things, they can win the game if Desmond Bane and Ja both play to their full potential. Desmond Bane has to hit jump shots for them, has been their floor spreader for the longest time. He's, the most consistent out of all of their stars. Jaren Jackson, as I've said 100 times already, foul trouble has always withered Jaren Jackson Jr. in his play. When he's on the court, I reckon in the last 2 weeks or so, whenever I watch Grizzlies basketball, I didn't watch him miss a 3-point jump shot, which to me is still amazing considering his jump shot and why every NBA scout ever has just left his jump shot how it is, because it is literally just a push shot and it works. So, I mean, he may as well keep doing it if it works. Ja is the biggest one. Ja will be able to get to the ring against us. I expect Draymond Green to have a really, really good defensive performance. But Ja's still going to get to the ring. We don't have that guy that's like, all right, you're not going to get to the ring whenever you want. We don't have that sort of guy on our roster. So I do expect Ja to have an impact when it goes to getting to the basket. If we can limit the amount of paint touches that he gets and maximize the amount of 3-point jump shots out of Ja, I fully expect us to win this game. That's about all I can say about that game. I have the Warriors winning. Not comfortably. I think it's going to go down to the wire. It's going to be one of those games. It's playing time. Everybody wants to win. Everybody's going to be playing their best basketball. I just expect us to slightly get the edge over them and get us into that 2 seed. The other game out east, people probably would argue it's a little bit of a less exciting matchup. It feels like the Atlanta Hawks now have been in the playing game every year for about the last 5 years. Other than that 1 year where they made a conference finals run. Ever since then, it's just been playing game after playing game for the Hawks. The Magic are actually really unlucky to get the 7 seed. I think they played a lot better basketball this year than the 7 seed. It was just a matter of Paolo missing a couple of months of play and a few tweak injuries in between their guards. When Paolo is on the court, he will be, if he plays tomorrow to the best of his ability, he will be the best player on the court tomorrow. As good as Trae Young is, and I expect Trae Young to have at least 10 assists, to have at least probably 20 sort of points, and have that impact on the game, I expect Paolo to have an even bigger game. Paolo's going to use his body. Outside the likes of Clint Capella and Onyeka Okongwu, he will be able to use his versatility to attack the ring, to get his mid-range jump shot when he wants it. And he will be able to make an impact on this game. Franz Wagner, another guy who I think will impact their win tomorrow. I think Orlando will take this one tomorrow. I just think Atlanta, as good as Dyson Daniels is as a defender, as good as Onyeka Okongwu is and Clint Capella as defenders, I just think Orlando have some sort of X factor when it comes to their offense. I think they run their sets really well. Jamal Mosley does a really good job in finding them when they need to be. And they just have guys that can score the ball. Cole Anthony, he could come out tomorrow and score 30 points. That's how, inconsistent but good Cole Anthony is. Jalen Suggs is another guy who will impact the game tomorrow, both defensively and offensively. All those guys. Wendell Carter Jr. is another one. He can grab rebounds when he wants to with the best of them and give you something on the offensive side of the ball, whether it's sitting in the dunker spot or hitting a little mid-range jump shot a little further out. He is good for all of those things. They also have the home court advantage, the Amway Center, I think it's called nowadays. Yeah, I think both home teams are going to take it tomorrow. I think the Atlanta Hawks just don't quite have it on the offensive side of the ball. It'll be interesting to see what Zachary Risachet, sorry if I pronounced that wrong. It'll be interesting to see what he gives because he is a really good basketball player. I've seen shades of him. I haven't watched a ton of Atlanta Hawks minutes this year, to be completely honest. but he looks like he can be an X factor in that game. And if he gets going tomorrow, who knows what's going to happen. That will be his impact for me, will determine how close the game is between these two sides. Orlando, I just think, are the slightly better team. They're both, for me, they're fighting to compete against the Celtics. I think the Celtics pretty comfortably beat both of these sides. If Atlanta happens to go into another series against the Celtics, I'm pretty sure the Celtics played them last. Yeah, it's not really a competitive series if the Hawks go through. It'll be good just to see Orlando Magic basketball in the playoffs. I don't think we've seen it since DJ Augustine hit a Game 1 winner against the Toronto Raptors back in 2019, if I'm not mistaken. So to have them back in contention and back playing good basketball would be just all-round good for the association. But yeah, Orlando, I think, take this one reasonably convincingly. I think it'll be about 10 or so points. Not completely sure, but we will soon find out. Other matchups, we've got the 8, 9, and 10 seeds. We've got the Bulls taking the Heat. I spoke about this one yesterday. I think the Bulls are going to take it. They're just the better side at the moment, playing better basketball. Josh Giddey in some of the form of his career. I think looking back at it now, the Bulls made a really good trade getting Josh Giddey out of OKC. As good of a defender and as good of a player as Alex Caruso was, you get a lot more value out of Josh Giddey because Alex Caruso isn't giving you 20-point triple-doubles. He's giving you probably more steals than Josh Giddey would, more deflections, that sort of impact on the defensive side of the ball. But I think he will run away with it and be the much better player when it's all said and done. Being so young as well, they've got a lot more time with him, and if they want to rebuild around him, they can. If you put a lot of shooters around Josh Giddey, like they're starting to with Kevin Huerter and those sorts of guys, it can be really scary. Kobe White is a name I probably haven't mentioned as much as I should. Player of the month for the East a month ago. Playing really, really good basketball. I think he was averaging like 30 points a game for the month of March, which to me is insane. Miami just don't have the offense for me. Outside of Tyler Hero, there really isn't a ton of offense going on. Defensively, with Kala Ware, their rookie, Bam Adebayo, those sorts of guys, their defense is there. I just don't think offensively they have enough on that side of the ball in terms of Terry Rozier has been in some of the worst form of his career. Davion Mitchell, as I said, once again, really good defender. Just offensively, he's starting to shoot the ball a little better in recent times. I think his 3-point percentage is slightly going up. But he is known as a defender. And I think that's the main problem with the Miami Heat. It'll depend on what sort of offense they get out of Andrew Wiggins tomorrow, or the day after, sorry. It will be dependent on him because we know how good Andrew is on the offensive side of the ball when he wants to be. He is at his best for me watching Andrew Wiggins for years when he is off the ball and catching and shooting, getting baseline drives, that sort of thing. He's not a ball dominant player. It'll be all on Tyler Hero to dominate that, and we will see what happens. Other 9-10 matchup out west, bit of a weird one, is the Kings and the Mavericks. I would probably take the Mavericks in this game, to be completely honest. It might be a bit of a shock considering the sort of year that Dallas has had and everything that's gone on with them. But I think Anthony Davis is playing really good basketball at the moment. Domantas Sabonis is as good of a player. So if you sort of cancel those guys out, you've got like Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan on that side of the ball. But as I've said 100 times, the experiment didn't work in Chicago, and I just don't see it working for the Kings as well. If the Kings lose this game, more likely than not, Domantas Sabonis, I think, will sort of look to move elsewhere. There isn't a ton of direction for the Kings right now. Malik Monk, it'll depend on what sort of game you get out of Malik off the bench. They had him favourites at the start of the year to go 6th man of the year because of the year he had last year. Hasn't had anywhere near that sort of season this year. So it'll depend on his sort of production, what comes out of him. But I just think in terms of everything, I think the Mavericks will cause a bit of an upset. who knows? It's a bit of a less interesting game to a lot of the games that are going on, but that's my prediction. So that would leave, I believe, the Grizzlies to match up against the Mavs. I won't really touch on it too much because I will touch on it after we get the results of the games. But I will take the Grizzlies in that one. I think the Grizzlies match up well. Jaren, if he can stay out of foul trouble, will lock up Anthony Davis enough to the point where they will be able to outscore them. And out east, it would leave the Atlanta Hawks going up against the Chicago Bulls. I do see Chicago making an 8 seed. They're really up and down with their play, but I think Atlanta are just... To me, Atlanta are a team where you could get the absolute best out of them one night, but they will have a bad stretch. And I think if there was a team to bomb out of the next 2 games, it would be Atlanta. They will get home court in that game, of course, but I still think Chicago have an edge. I don't know what it is. They're just playing really good basketball. It might be a bit of recency bias, but I just see them being the better basketball team on the day. That's about it. That's sort of all I wanted to touch on today. I'll talk about it more, obviously, once we get the results in the next 2 days, so I can better match up. I actually know what the matchups will be in 2 days' time, so I'll be able to sort of talk about that while I'm talking about the recaps of the games. I'll be tuned into both games tomorrow. I think the first one's at 10 o'clock maybe. I think the East game's first. The East game's at 9:30. So I'll be tuning into both games, and then I'll get a recap out for you guys tomorrow. Exciting times, exciting stuff. Playing tournaments started. We will see what happens with everything. With that, I think that's all I wanted to speak about. Liking, subscribing, all that good stuff. I'm getting a lot of love on the videos recently, and I can't thank you guys enough. I'm really pumping the videos out now, and I'm really enjoying it, so I'm going to continue to do so. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys tomorrow with the recap. Thank you guys.